This Corecon training video covers the scheduling module found in Corecon and is an advanced subject, assuming that your project has already been set up by one of several methods mentioned in previous videos. Previous subjects covered in training videos included how to set up new schedules, how to copy a schedule from a different project, how to add and edit child tasks, and basic management of scheduling tasks. In this training video, we're going to talk about how to manage and continue discussing methods of editing these tasks. A project schedule is continually evolving. Seldom a day goes by where there's not a change or adjustment to a project schedule. For this reason, setting up a good solid initial schedule and then saving that schedule to baseline allows you to compare the actual and current schedules throughout the project to what you originally planned. In the schedule that you're viewing here, the baseline has not been set. We want to make some adjustments before we begin the start of the project. The first thing we'd like to do is add a new line item. To do this, I'm going to focus on a line and I'm going to right click and I'm going to add a new row. Notice it adds the row above it and it assumes the next sequential task ID number. I'm going to give that a start date and a duration. Since previously the task ID 2 was the first task on the list and under this parent item, we did not include a predecessor. I'm going to select all items, go to Global Changes, and I'm going to reset IDs based on current sort order and click OK. Now I'm going to set the predecessor for the original task ID to the new task ID and click OK. Notice as it did this, it renumbered all of the task ID numbers in the same order they appeared at that time. Next, let's assume that we need to order the stock block, but we want to move the date we order it up to something earlier. Right now it's referencing tax ID number 7, which is pour footer. Maybe it takes a little longer to get that block. So let's change the predecessor task ID number from 7 to 4 and click OK. And then click Save. Task ID number 9, Foundation. Let's change the name of it. And we want this one to occur only after task IDs number 5 through 7 have completed. So we're going to uncheck task ID number 8 and we're going to check 5, 6, and 7. So all 3 have to be completed before the foundation pour can begin. And we'll update and save. If you were importing the predecessors from a Microsoft Excel template, these 3 items would be separated by a semicolon. Corecon assumes that items are automatically finished to start, meaning an item will begin the day after its predecessor has completed. But there are other nomenclature we can use, such as start to start, finish to start, start to start, finish to finish, and lag. So let's go to task ID number 7, whose predecessor is task ID 6. And we want to pour footers 3 days after task ID number 6 has finished. So we'll just go in to that item, and that would be 6, which is the task ID for footer inspection. And we want to add 3 working days. So it will delay or lag 3 days. And let's also change the duration or days to 3 days. Remember to occasionally save when making edits, and if need be, you also have a tool that will fix discrepancies. So we're going to click Save again. And the item has now extended to 3 days. Remember that the days marked in gray on the calendar are non-work days, which could be weekend days or holidays if you've set up a custom calendar in global settings. Let's go down to a new parent item in its child tasks. Let's go to task ID number 26, and we want task ID number 26 to start the same day as we start the rough heating. So we'll go over to the predecessor, and we'll put the predecessor, which is task ID 24, followed by SS for start to start, and update. Now line 20, task ID 24 and task ID 26 are starting on the same day. And let's go down to another parent item, interior finish. And let's say that we want the electrical inspection to be finished the same day as the plumbing inspection. So we go over to the item, we leave 41 as the predecessor, and the nomenclature FF for finish to finish. And update. Now if we scroll over, both the plumbing inspection and the electrical inspection end on the same day instead of the day after. Now let's scroll back up to the first parent item, and let's change the name of that. We can see that because the current date is January 3rd, those tasks above it all show as not started, and that's because we haven't filled in any of the percentages complete. So let's go in and fill in some of these. We could do them by line item, or we can select multiples, go to global changes, and enter the percentage complete, and click apply, and click save. And we can see the status of those items have all changed to green, which is showing completed. There's two items now that are not started or delayed. Let's say that the pour footing, for whatever reason, is 75% complete. So the status has been split. Part of it's been completed, but also part of it's not, or delayed, in this case delayed. We'll update the stock block, say that's 100% complete, and click save. And we'll say all the tasks for foundation are 90% complete, and click save. Now we can see these are now ahead of schedule. Once we have the basic schedule set up, we can select all items, go to global changes, and we can reset the baseline dates and click apply. We can also opt to show the baseline dates, and as the current schedule is updated, you'll be able to compare. Once that's complete, let's assign resources, which is covered in more detail in a separate training video. And we're going to let the project owner know a few items or milestones that they need to be aware of. I'm just going to select the ones that are inspections. We'll go to global changes. We'll assign the company and a contact for the project owner and click apply. Now if I change the view to the resource list, those items that we're going to keep them up to date on have been marked next to their project owner's contact. Back to Gantt view. The next step would be to email assignments. Click OK. Project owner is listed. There's a preview of what the email will look like, and click send email. Sending email is something that you'll need to do throughout the duration of the project, especially when changes are made to the schedule. If you'd like to know more about the information covered in this training video, we encourage you to go to the knowledge base, to leads and projects, to scheduling. The information in this training video, as well as more detailed information, can be found in these knowledge base articles.